Today we are going to apply the first ground color on the violin. This is Pernice, this beautiful Santo Serafino model violin with bird eye maple. All right, so I'm Sofia Vettori. I make violins since I was 17 years old. I learned from my father. That's my father, Paolo. This is me. And this is my grandfather that started in 1935. That's my imposter syndrome. It's always there, so it's with me. This is Bibi, the chief of happiness of our team. Sorry, Bibi, I didn't want to disturb you. You can go back to sleep. So now that you met everybody, let's start. Let's start applying this preparation, and you're gonna see the magic happening. Okay, maybe I will just sand a little bit because I went with the scraper first, but now I want to sand a little bit because I don't want to have any of the surface that the scraper, glass scraper or scraper is leaving. That I want it to be smooth. Okay, let's start. I will start on the ribs. Oops, that fell off. So we start on the ribs. I know how this wood will react because I already used this wood for a couple of violins, and I bought a whole tree of this beautiful bird eye maple, so I know exactly how it's reacting. So I'm starting already with the ground color that it's pretty intense, as you can see. And so that's it. I can tell you the story of this beautiful bird eye maple. And let me know in the comments if you like when I'm telling stories, when I'm working. So I was 9 years old, and I attended with my family and my father, we were visitors, a violin making competition that was in Bagnacavallo. I don't even know if they do that anymore, I don't think. I don't even remember where it is, somewhere in Italy. And when you go to this violin making competition, there are like hundreds of instruments, all one close to another and nicely displayed, but there are a lot of violins, a lot of violas, a lot of cellos. So as a little girl, I was walking through the aisle, I don't know how to say in plural, but yeah. So of this place, it was, I think, in an old palazzo. And then I was walking, and then I saw a cello that just like caught my eye. And it was a beautiful bird eye maple cello. And then I was like, wow, this is the most beautiful wood I have ever seen on an instrument. And then I asked my dad, what wood is that? And he said, well, that's bird eye maple. And it doesn't sound really very well. That's what people were saying at the time. So nobody's really using it, although it's very beautiful. And I was like, oh, that's a pity, because it really looks so nice. And then, so now I am applying on your maple. As you can see, I'm trying to don't touch the spruce yet. So I will apply this on spruce also tomorrow, but lighter, not as dark. So, and then I was feeling that's a pity. And I remember I had the chance years ago pre-pandemic, to visit the Chinmay Foundation in Tainan, in Taiwan. And they have an original, beautiful Santo Serafino violin, because also I learned there that Santo Serafino was a violin maker that was using bird eye maple. And this violin was sounding amazingly. And before that, while I was buying some wood from the Balkany area, the wood dealer, I saw on a corner a lot of pieces of this bird eye maple. And I was like, what's that? And the wood dealer told me, I have a whole tree, nobody wants to buy it. And then I was like, well, I'm going to buy it. So I bought this Birda maple and I never really used it. And then I tried this Santo Serafino model violin that was sounding gorgeous. So I was thinking to as a project, to make my first Santo Serafino violin. And the fun fact is that during pandemic, that everybody was stuck at home and I was working alone. I was here in the US. And the pandemic, we had the feeling that, oh my God, that's the end. We're all gonna die. So let's do the thing that I always wanted to do. And then I never found the time for doing it. And for me was to make a Santo Serafino violin. So that's how I made my first Santo Serafino violin. And for that violin, I used the Oppio, so the Italian local maple. I have stories on Oppio too. And then the second time I made, and it was sounding beautifully. And then the second time I made the same model, I used this beautiful Bird-eye maple that I had my father send me a box from my collection to the United States so I could make one. And then it was so successful that I made so many. And I'm so happy that I have a whole tree. And the pieces are so big. I can show you here. Oh, somebody moved them. Sorry, Bibi. Here, there are some of the pieces that I'm cutting and selecting to prepare for my next violins. Look at those. These are all from the same tree. You can tell if there is even like la corteccia. So let's go on here. Oh, but this is coming. Do you see how beautiful? I'm just talking and not even realizing. Look at that. And the beauty of this wood from this tree is that it not only has bird-eye maple. It's a flamed piece of maple with bird-eye maple. It's like double lucky. So, and yes, and that's what has been one of my winning horses model. And yeah, that's the story. So this is, I mean, come on, look at that. It's gorgeous. And it has flame on it. So absolutely amazing. So this violin is Pernice. I told once during one of my live what the name Pernice means in the mythology, Greek mythology. With Ovidio in the Metamorphosis, he explains about Perdix, that was the nephew of Icaro. No, Daedalo, that was the inventor of the labyrinth in Crete. And Acnosso, and that his son Icaro is the one that also dies trying to fly to the sun, reaching the sun with wings attached to his body with wax. So, and Perdix, that it's the Greek name of Pernice, he was the nephew and he invented the saw, exactly the saw, the one we're using with all the dents, the little teeth, that's Italian denti. And then he invented the compass. And so he was so smart that his uncle, Daedalo, was jealous of him. And one day when they were walking close to a cliff, he just pushed him and he fell down the cliff. But the goddess that sees everything, Athena, saw that. And before Perdix touched the ground and died, she transformed him in a bird. And the bird that she transformed him is the Pernice. So that's why Pernice is a bird that it's afraid to fly high. And then the god, they wanted to punish Daedalo, so they let Icaro die in the same way as he was killing his nephew. So falling from the sky. So that's the Greek mythology for today. And here we are, and we just finished to apply the first coat of this beautiful ground for this gorgeous Pernice. So thanks for being here with me. Remember, like, subscribe, share, all the things, comments, and let me know if you're liking my content. And look at this. Bye. Bye. Ciao, ciao.